Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today's video, we're just going to be doing a nice simple story time. It's going to be nothing big for this video. It's about the time I got my high school shut down back in 2018 for setting off a couple of stink bombs during an assembly, and the staff got all paranoid that there was like a gas leak and they thought that the school was going to blow up or some shit, so they evacuated the school, which I'm not even going to lie, that was a win in my book. I got to fucking gas a high school, and I got the day off because of it, so that's a win-win in my opinion right there. And without further ado, let's hop into this chemical warfare of a story that took place in my high school cafeteria. So this story time takes place all in the year of 2018, and in 2018 I was just a freshman in high school, still getting used to the school and whatnot. Actually, no, I wasn't. It was towards the end of the year, so I kind of already had things figured out. And at this point, I would just kind of had that state of mind, like, fuck the schoolwork, I just want to have fun, and I will achieve that by any means necessary. And if that means by having to stink bomb a high school and get everything evacuated, I guess I'll go ahead and do that too. But that's what we're here for me to tell you the details leading up to this. So this day of school starts off like any other normal day. I get off the bus, start heading towards my class, but once when I start heading towards my classroom, I just noticed something stinks really fucking bad. And obviously you guys already know what it is, but I don't at this point. I'm confused. I'm like, what the hell is this stink? Like, did someone shit their pants in the middle of the hall and just kind of left it there? You guys see the meme of that one kid? I think he's a kid. He just kind of takes a shit in a convenience store and walks off and someone steps in it. Yeah, this is kind of the vibes of what I'm getting right here. I low-key think that someone just took a shit in the middle of the hallway and walked away from it. It wasn't until later on in the day when I actually found out what that smell that I was smelling was the stink bombs. But at this point in time, I just kind of said, oh well, I don't know what the smell is. It's not really concerning to me right now. It just stinks really bad. I'll just get to class. First period goes through, nothing big, nothing too shabby, just kind of do my work on my computer that I needed to do. And then after that, I go into my second period class. And in my second period class, this is where I kind of find out about the stink bomb. One of my friends who I sat next to, and my second period class was a film class, so it wasn't the biggest classroom that there was in the high school. This is important, alright? I remember sitting down next to my friend during this class period, since we didn't really have like assigned seats or none of that shit. I kind of sat next to my friend, and he looks over at me with just kind of like a weird smirk on his face, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? He says, I don't know if you smelt it, but near your classroom this morning, there was a really bad stink, wasn't there? And I said, yeah, just kind of confused. And he says, I set off a stink bomb. And I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that, bro? It's like I had to deal with that shit. It's like most of my first period. That wasn't fun. And he says, I know, right? But this class period, I'm going to set off another one. I was like, bro, don't do it now. I don't want to have to spend another class period in a room full of fucking stink again. All right? So how about this? Let's just set off the stink bomb once when this period is over. We can let third period deal with the stink. Truly, I had no idea what my friend was thinking when he said that. I don't know why you would want to sit in a classroom all period full of stink. And then he kind of corrects me and says, that's what I was talking about. And I was like, you could have been a little bit more clear on that, bro. You could have said at the end of class period, let's set off a stink bomb, and not, hey, I'm going to set off a stink bomb during this class period. Like, you could have been a little bit more clear on that. You hear that, Elijah? Next time when we stink bomb a high school, alright? Are we in high school anymore? I don't think we are, but if we ever do that again, you gotta be more clear on that, alright? Once when our second period was over, they kind of had a trash can sort of like right next to the door. There was two separate doors. There was one kind of leading out into the hallway, and then if you choose the other door, it kind of just leads like right outside. I don't know, it was weird how they had the school laid out. But anyways, we set off a stink bomb once when this class period was over, and immediately, the second we set this thing off, bro, just the smell of the stinkiest stink you would ever smell in your life just filled this classroom, bro. We immediately threw the stink bomb in the trash can, then fucking ran out of that classroom and let third period deal with it. Nothing really came out of that situation right there. I wonder what they thought of all period in that class was, what the hell is that stink? Is there like a gas leak or something? Anyways, let's flash forward. Yeah, that's right. Let's flash forward towards the end of the day. We had this weird assembly that was going on. Like, each individual grades from like 9th to 12th grade was going to be split up into groups, and they would like occupy a certain part of the high school. And the freshmen, which is what I was in at the time, we had the cafeteria itself. Yeah, we were inside of the cafeteria, where we would all sit, eat our lunch and shit and whatnot. Some other people's, like, they had the fucking school auditorium, and I don't remember where the last 2 grades were. The reason why I remember people were in the auditorium, well, 1, because the auditorium was right next to the cafeteria, and 2, for what's about to happen next. I remember me and my friend, again, we're just kind of sitting in this assembly, and we're like, bro, this shit sucks. Why do we have to be here right now? I was like, is there any way we could get out of this shit? And my friend just kind of says, like, I mean, we could set off a couple of stink bombs in here, and probably the smell will be so bad they just want to get everyone out of here. And I thought, not a bad idea, I would say. Of course, we would have had to suffer the consequences too if our little plan didn't work, but we were willing to risk it at the time because nobody just wanted to be in this assembly at all. Obviously, the preppy Mormon kids in my town, they obviously just wanted to be there so bad. I don't understand why, but the rest of us, which wasn't a whole lot of us, I'm not even gonna lie, we didn't want to be there, so we just kind of ruined it for all the people who were actually having fun. And if I remember this detail correctly, because I remember for a fact, I was the one who threw the stink bombs in the trash can. And like I said, if I remember the detail correctly, this is how it happened. I was like, alright, if you want to go put a couple of stink bombs in the trash can like we did in film class, go do it. He says, bro, I'm not doing it. I was like, you were the one who recommended the idea. It's like, I don't want to walk my lazy ass over to the trash can and throw some stink bombs in there. And he says, but you do want to get out of this class, don't you? Touche. You got me on that one right there. It's like, I too also want out of this assembly right now. And if I'm going to have to be the one to sacrifice myself to go put the stink in the trash can, I guess I'll be the one to go put the stink in the trash can. So, hand them over, buddy. So, like the brave high schooler that I was, if you guys were not aware of this, but I am also the fellow who taped up a bunch of hentai in the bathrooms at the school. So, I would like to say that I have a little bit of power around the high school. Just kidding, that was a joke. Everyone actually hated my guts at the high school, and this story is a prime example of why. So I walk up to one of the trash cans that's kind of like far in the back corner of the cafeteria, and I low-key just kind of pop a couple of stink bombs and throw them in the trash can real quick. And then after that, I kind of threw a little bit of paper towels over it as well. So like I found some of the cleanest paper towels that were in there. That was really fucking disgusting of me to put my hands in the trash can. I don't know what I was thinking. I just didn't want no one seeing the stink bombs in there. Kind of keep them a little bit hidden, you know. So I pop the stink bombs, throw them into the trash can. I walk back over to my seat where all my friends are sitting. I sit down and then we just wait. And the waiting does not take long. Shortly after sitting down, I kind of take a look around the cafeteria because I'm now starting to get a faint smell of the stink. And where the trash can is closest to some of the people where I set off the stink bombs, like I could already see them. Their fucking noses tucked underneath their shirts, like them taking their pieces of papers that we had for our assembly. I don't remember exactly what we were doing, but all of us kind of had pieces of paper and shit. And they were just kind of like waving the piece of paper in front of their nose, obviously smelling that stink that I just threw in the trash can. And for some reason, nobody knew it was me. I really think I should have gotten caught for this, but somehow, some way I didn't. Anyways, after when I took my seat and when I'm just kind of observing around the high school, taking note on people who are now smelling the stink, it's getting stronger and stronger by the minute. And it doesn't take long after that for the teachers to start noticing the smell. And after when they start smelling it, it's like they kind of get quiet. They kind of get like this weird paranoid look in their face for some reason. And then they just kind of say, it's like, kids, we're gonna have to stop the assembly right now. I could tell a lot of you are smelling that smell. We have reasons to think that there's a gas leak in the cafeteria right now, so we're going to have to evacuate everyone until we could figure out what it is. And so that's exactly what happens. They evacuate us all the way out. They take us all the way down to the fucking English hall. And then they just make us sit in there for so long while when a couple of people are in the cafeteria trying to figure out what that stink was. And I don't think they ever found the stink bombs. It's like, because after when that happens, like we never went back to the cafeteria. We never finished the assembly. We just stayed inside of English hall for the rest of this assembly, which kind of sucked. But hey, at least we kind of got to goof off in English hallway and not actually have to do, you know, the assembly. So that was kind of a win-win. But the story does not end here, all right? Because we had a couple of more stink bombs left. And what happened? Some of the stink bombs went off in my friend's backpack somehow. At least that's what he told me. I don't think he purposely sabotaged those stink bombs in his own backpack because he's gonna have to deal with the stink from now on. But those stink bombs went off in his backpack in English hall, and the smell followed us. And somehow, some way, the teachers have not caught on at this point, and they still think that there was a fucking gas leak. Like, How is the gas leak from the cafeteria going to follow us all the way to the English hall? So like, I mentioned this in one of my last videos talking about the high school that I went to, but the staff there are not that bright when it comes to actually catching kids making trouble. It's like, the kids got away with a lot of trouble in that high school because the staff there did not know how to identify trouble when it was happening. So then after, when the teachers began to smell the smell in English hall after that, they just said, all right, fuck it, full on lockdown. We have to evacuate all the kids. So like, we're cutting off the school day early. So like, this is a serious situation going on right here. So like, there's definitely a gas leak and we cannot afford to have kids get hurt from it. So because we set off a couple of stink bombs in a high school assembly, we got the school evacuated and shut down for a day. And to this day, at least I think, they never found out that they were stink bombs. I think once when the next day rolled around, once when the smell wore out and it was gone, they kind of thought, nothing of it maybe. It's like, probably something happened, but then it kind of resolved itself. I don't know what was going through their thought process when they were thinking this shit, but it was honestly kind of stupid. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the story time today. If you did happen to enjoy, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It shows that you guys appreciate the content and it makes me more motivated into making the videos. And let me know what you thought about the story time, if it was good, if it was bad. And I'll see you all for the next one. And I just ran out of gameplay, so I'm going to end it here. Peace out.